Om Shanti, Madhuvan Murli, Morning Murli, Bapdada 2023, October 2. Today's Mahabhakya essence. Sweet children, everything the Father tells you is new for the new world. He gives you new direction, and this is why His ways and means are remembered as unique. Today's question: in which aspect does the merciful Father caution all you children in order for you to make your fortune elevated? Today's answer: Baba says, if you want to make your fortune elevated, do service. If you simply eat and sleep and do not do service, you would not be able to make your fortune elevated. To eat without doing service is wrong. Therefore, Baba cautions you, everything depends on how you study. You Brahmins have to study and teach others. You have to relate the true Gita. The Father has mercy for you, and this is why He continues to enlighten you about everything. Today's song: from the day that you and I met, everything has seemed new. Om Shanti. Details. The spiritual Father explained to you, when you children find the unlimited Father, everything He tells you is new, because this Father is the one who established the new world. Human beings cannot say such new thing. The Father, who is also called Heavenly God, the Father is the unlimited Father who established heaven. It is Ravan who established hell. There are 5 vices in the female and 5 vices in the male. That is a Ravan community. So this thing that Baba has told you about are new, are they not? It is the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, who is called Rama, who create heaven. It is Ravan who create hell. People make an effigy of him every year and burn it. Once someone has been burned, you would not be able to see his effigy form again. That soul goes and takes another body. His features, etc., all change. Here they make a Ravan with the same features every year and then burn it. In fact, just as incorporeal Shiv Baba does not have any features, in the same way, Ravan does not have any features either. Ravan is the vices. The Father explained what the people on the path of devotion want. God comes to give the fruit of devotion and to give protection, because there is a lot of sorrow in devotion. There is temporary happiness. The lives of the people of Bharat are very unhappy. Someone's child might have died. Someone might have gone bankrupt. Their lives are unhappy. The Father says, I come to make everyone's life happy. The Father comes and tells you new thing. He says, I have come to establish heaven. There you will not indulge in vice. That is a viceless kingdom, and this is a vicious kingdom. If you want the kingdom of heaven, then only the Father establishes that. Ravan establishes the kingdom of hell. The Father asks you, will you come to heaven? Will you become the emperor and empresses of paradise, the master of the world? These things are not mentioned in the Vedas or scriptures. The Father does not tell you to say Rama, Rama, or to stumble from door to door, or go to the temple and pilgrimage palace, or study the Gita and Bhagavad, etc. No, there are no scripture in the golden age. No matter how many Veda and scripture you study, or how many sacrificial fire you hold, or chanting you do, or donation you give, or charity you perform, all of that is simply stumbling. There is no attainment through that. There is no aim or objective on the path of devotion. I have come to make you into the master of heaven. At this time, all are residents of hell. If you tell anyone that he is resident of hell, he would get upset. In fact, you know that the iron age is called hell and that the golden age is called heaven. The Father has brought the sovereignty of paradise. He says, if you want to become the master of heaven, you definitely have to become pure. The main thing is purity. Some people say that they would never be able to remain pure. Oh, but you are made pure so that you can go to heaven. First of all, you have to return to the land of peace and then go to heaven. You tell those of all religion, you have to renounce your body, become bodiless, and then return home. Therefore, you have to break body consciousness. It is a bodily religion. When you say, I am a Christian or I am a Buddhist, souls reside in the sweet home. So the Father says, will you return to the land of liberation? There you will remain in peace. Tell me, how will you be able to go back? Remember me, your Father, and your sweet home. Renounce all the religion of bodies. This one is a material uncle. This one is a paternal uncle. Renounce all of those bodily relations. Consider yourself to be bodiless soul. Remember me. That's all. This is the only effort. I do not tell you anything else. Renounce all the scripture, etc. that you have studied. I am giving you new direction for the new world. It is said that God says and means are unique. Gati is said to be liberation. The Father tells you new thing. When people hear this thing, they say that whatever you tell them, there are new things. These are not the thing of the scripture. In fact, there are the thing of the Gita. But people have falsified the Gita. I have not taken up the Gita, the religious book that is written later. I speak knowledge to you. No one else would ever say, you are my long lost and now found children. Only the incorporeal Supreme Soul says this. He speaks to you incorporeal souls. You souls listen to him. This body is the organ. No one understands this thing. They are human beings speak to human beings, whereas the Supreme Soul sits here and speak to you souls. We souls listen to him through this ear. You know that the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul sits here and explains to us. People wonder how God would explain. They think that it is God Sri Krishna who speaks. Oh, but Sri Krishna is a bodily being. I am not a bodily being. I am bodiless and I speak to bodiless souls. So people are amazed when they hear this new thing. The children who had this in the previous cycle like this a lot. They study here and they say, Mama, Baba, there cannot be blind faith here. In a worldly way too, children would call their parents mother and father. You now have to stop remembering those worldly parents. You now have to stop remembering those worldly parents and remember the Parlokik mother and father. This Parlokik mother and father is the one who teaches you the exchange of nectar. He says, "Oh children, now stop giving and taking poison. Give one another the teaching that I give you, and you will become the master of heaven. If you listen to even a little, you will go to heaven. However, if you are unable to make others the same as yourself, you will go and become maid and servants." Maids and servants are number wise. The maids and servants who look after the children would surely be those with a good status. If while staying here you do not study, you become maids and servants. Subjects too are number wise. Those who study will receive a very high status. The wealthy subject would have maid and servants. Each one of you has to look at your one face. What am I worthy of becoming? If any of you were to ask Baba, Baba would quickly tell you. The Father knows everything and He also shows you evidence for why that is what you will become. Even though someone may have surrendered himself or herself, there is an account in that too. If they have surrendered themselves but do not do service and simply continue to eat and drink, they use up and finish what they gave. They eat away all they gave and do not do service, and they therefore become tired, third-class maids and servants. Yes, if someone does service and eat, that is fine. If someone does not do any service but simply eats, he would use everything up and would then accumulate a burden. Some stay here and eat whatever they give. Some do not give anything, but they do perform a lot of service, and so they claim a high status. Mama did not give any wealth, but she attained a very high status because she does Baba's spiritual service. There is an account. Some have the intoxication of giving everything they had to Baba, and they have surrendered themselves. However, they do it, do they not? Baba gives you all the examples. If you do not do service, you just eat and finish it all. It is said, those who sleep lost out. To eat without doing 8 hours of service is wrong. If you continue to eat, you would not be able to accumulate anything, and you will then have to do service. The Father has to tell you everything so that no one can say, "Why did not you tell us before?" Baba gave everything and he also continued to do service, and that's why he received a high status. If you surrender yourself but simply sit and eat away and do not do service, what would you become? Some do not follow Shrimad. Baba is especially explaining to you so that at the end no one can ask, "Why is my status like this?" The Father explained, this will be the consequence cycle after cycle if you do not do service and eat for free. Therefore, Baba continued to caution you. You should understand that your status would be destroyed for cycle after cycle. Baba feels mercy, and this is why he enlighten you about everything. If you do not do service, you would not be able to claim a high status. Those who live at home with their family and do service receive a very high status. Everything depends on your studying and teaching others. You are Brahmins, you have to relate the true Gita. Those people carry a religious book under their arm. You do not carry anything under your arm. You are true Brahmin. You have to relate the truth and enable them to have true attainment. All the rest have made you go into loss. This is why it is written that all of that is false. Baba tells you the truth and makes you into the master of the land of truth. This matter have to be understood. It is not a small thing to become a master of the world. Those who are sensible children will continue to make plans. We will build such buildings with golden bricks. We will do this while a child of a wealthy person is growing up. He would have such thoughts as, I will do this and I will build this. You too are going to become princess in the future, and so you would have the interest. I will build such palace that no one else would have. Those who study well and teach others should have these thoughts. There will be the sovereignty. So you should have such thoughts in your intellect. With which number will I pass? This is a very big school. Many hundreds of thousands and millions will come here to study. Only the Father sits here and explains all of these things. God is one. He is called the Mother and Father. He comes and adopts you. There are such deep matter. This is a new school and the one teaching you is new. He explained to you so well. The apron of those who are wealthy will be filled. They will remember the Father, the Mother, and Father never forget anyone. So how can the children of the confluence forget the Father? Acha, the world is in chores, whereas you children are in silence. There is peace in silence and happiness in peace. You know that after liberation, there is liberation in life. You children simply have to remember two words, Alpha, Allah, and Beta. The sovereignty. By simply remembering one Alpha, you receive this sovereignty. What else remains? There is then just buttermilk left. When you have found Alpha, it means you have found the butter and all the rest is buttermilk. It is like that, is it not? We stay in silence. You know that you stay in silence and follow Srimad. However, it is a wonder that some children do not remember Alpha fully. They forget him. Maya brings trumps. The Father also says, Manmana Bhava, Madhyaji Bhava. These words are mentioned in the Gita. You should ask those who study the Gita, what is the meaning of Manmana Bhava and Madhyaji Bhava? The Father says, remember me and you will receive the sovereignty. Renounce all bodily religion and become bodiless. And remember the Father and you will receive the sovereignty. It is also mentioned in the Grantha. Chant the name of Alpha and you will receive the sovereignty. You receive the sovereignty of the land of truth Compared to the world, you are completely unique. No one else would say this. The Father is telling you new thing, all the rest only speak up old thing. This is something very easy. Belong to Alpha and you will receive the sovereignty. You still have to make effort. The more service you do to make others the same as yourself, the more fruit you will receive. People neither know Alpha nor Beta. Beta means the butter of the sovereignty. They sow butter in the mouth of Sri Krishna. Surely the one who established heaven would have given the sovereignty. Acha, to the sweetest, beloved, long-lost and now found children, love, remembrance and good morning from the mother, the father Bap Dada. The spiritual father says Namaste to the spiritual children. We should say to the sweet father, Om Shanti, Namaste, Shukriya. Essence for Dharana. Number 1, you have to return to the sweet home. Therefore, forget your bodily religion and relation and consider yourself to be bodiless. Maintain the practice. Number 2, give others to teaching that you have received from the Father. Make others the same as yourself. You definitely have to do 8 hours of service. Blessing. May you finish any illness of flu with pure feeling and experience being sustained with blessing and thereby become an embodiment of success. Details. All of you children have received Bap Dada's elevated direction. Children constantly have this pure feeling. I am a most elevated soul. That is, a soul who is one out of multi-million. I am a deity soul, a great soul, a soul with a special part. Maintain this feeling and you will not have the flu of any wasteful feeling. Impure feeling cannot come where there are this pure feeling. By doing this, you will be saved from any illness of flu. That is from having to work hard and will constantly experience yourself to be being sustained with blessing and receiving success in the service that you do. Slogan. To become most elevated being who follows the highest code of conduct at the confluences in the elevated aim of this Brahmin life. Om Shanti. Sweet Shiv Baba. Shukriya, Shukriya, Shukriya.